Hey, how's it going, guys? Hope you're all doing well. You're having a good weekend. So, I thought we'd talk about the calves because it's a topic that's been flying up here and there. I realised I don't really talk about calves very much, and that's probably because I've never really had to do much to grow my calves. They're actually my fastest responding muscle group. I've got really good calf insertions, so I don't have to do much for them to get them to grow. But that doesn't mean I don't train them. I do train them. I just tend to go through phases where I get really into calves training, and then I might not do any for like 6 months. Um, and they don't really differ too much in size. But when I do train them, I can quite easily put on between half an inch to an inch within 8 to 12 weeks, and I can sort of maintain that size. Just training them probably once a month. I can keep them around 18 and a quarter inches most of the time. So pretty decent sized calves for a guy that's only 5'8". Um, and calves, everybody loves calves. All right, calves are impressive. If you've got a good set of calves, people pick up on them. And I talk about this all the time, guys. You know, you're out in summer, you're on holiday, you're on the beach, or you're walking around in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. The muscles on display are going to be your neck, they're going to be your lower arms and a bit of your upper arms, and it's going to be your calves, right? They're the main sort of muscles that are going to be on display. So if you want to look powerful, if you want to look like you train, if you want women to pick up on you strolling down the broadwalk there, it's going to be a good idea to have these muscles in place, all right. And I think calves are definitely one of the more impressive muscles if you can get them to a good level. So let's discuss this in this video. Now, when it comes to calves, I know you all hate me saying it, but it's just a fact, guys. It's just the way it is, and the sooner you get your head around it, the better. Calves are 95% genetic. They are end of fact, right? If you have poor insertions, you are going to struggle like hell to build big calves. If you are one of those people, then we need to get you a proper routine. We also need to get you on a serious calorie surplus, because sometimes all it takes to build calves is to add body weight. All right, add 50 to 100 pounds in body weight. I know I'm like over exaggerating a little bit here, but I'm just trying to get that concept in your mind. Get to where you put 50 to 100 pounds of body weight on, your calves are going to get tired lugging around that body weight all day. Look at fat guys that are overweight. Very rarely do you see them with small calves. They've all got big, thick calves. Yeah, all right, I know a lot of it's fat, but a lot of it is muscle as well. And even when they start to come down in weight, they still seem to have these large calves, right? So it might just be that you need to add a bit more upper body mass, and your calves are going to have to support that weight. There's no other way around it. And through doing that, they're going to have to adapt to the stress of walking around all day. They're going to have to get bigger, they're going to have to get stronger. That's just one way you could do it. And like I said, I know it's a little bit exaggerated, but if you just kind of get that concept in mind, it might just help you on your journey to just add in a little bit more size in that area. So obviously YouTube is full of bullshitters. It's full of YouTube bullshitting influencers that don't really know what they're talking about. They like to talk about building a big neck, yet they have a skinny neck. They like to talk about building big forearms, but they have skinny forearms. You get where I'm going with this, guys. There's a lot of shite out there with people telling you that you need to train your calves every single day for high volume. They'll tell you train your calves 3 times a week, going super heavy on a calf raise machine or a seated calf raise. And, you know, you all know me by now. I do not think you should train a body part any more than once a week. If you've got perfect form, you've got perfect intensity, you've got the right reps and sets, I just don't think you should be training a body part any more than once a week. Twice a week at the very most, if they're spaced out. Using me as an example, I will train calves for one set for 100 reps with perfect stretch, perfect form. I will not touch those calves again for 10 days at least, because I can't fucking walk for 5 of those days. They get so sore. I'm not even joking, guys. Like, I can't straighten my legs. Feel like I can't put any weight on my heels. And they're like that every single time I train them. And I don't do anything different. I don't add any weight to the exercise. I don't really do anything different. It's always the same. It's one set of 100 reps. So I don't know. I don't believe in training a body part 3 days a week and going stupidly heavily on a calf raise machine. I think you're just going to injure yourself. I think you're probably going to lose more size in that area than actually gain anything by overtraining it. You're just overtraining that muscle. And people who are telling you to train your calves every day, they're just fucking thick. They don't know what they're talking about. If you can train your calves every single day, then you've never trained a day of calves in your life. Come and do a calf session with me. You will not be able to walk for about 5 or 6 days. That I can guarantee. Absolutely guarantee it. So, with that part said, let's again talk about the workout that I can do. That I do, and then you can try it for yourselves. If it works, fantastic. If it doesn't, there's other things we can add to it. There's other avenues we can go down to help you grow in that department. So mine is really straightforward. And like I said at the beginning, I don't need to train calves. I don't need to do much to get them to grow. They respond to anything that I do. Just walking up hills for an hour is enough to get them to start packing on some size. I don't really have to concentrate on them, guys. I'm blessed in that respect. So every 10 days, all right, I walk over to the steps, and I put my heel off the edge of the step. Or for you guys, it would be a block if you're training in the gym. It's one set of 100 reps, but every single rep has got to be perfect form. I've got to get that mind-muscle connection. I've got to do everything perfect, all right? So you start in the stretch, okay? I'm going to sit in that stretch for a good 5 seconds. I want to really stretch out that calf, and then I'm going to press up onto the toes, all right? When I press up onto the toes, I want to get as high as I can. I want to really try and flex the muscle at the top of the movement. I want to contract that muscle. I want to get that mind-muscle connection. So I'm engaging all those muscle fibers, all right? I'm getting as much blood in there as I can. And then I'm going to lower down slowly, and then I'm going to sit again in that stretch for a good 5 seconds. Sometimes I might go upwards of 10 seconds on a single rep just in the stretch, because I really want to get that stretch involved. I really want to damage that muscle. And in my opinion, and in a lot of other experts' opinion, that loaded stretch is the money. Okay, that's where your growth is. That's where you want to be. So I do this all the way to 100 reps. There's no stopping. There's no taking my feet off the step, off the block, to shake my feet out, to have a breather, to have a rest. There's none of that involved. If at any point you find yourself in excruciating pain and you're struggling to press up onto your toes because you're just completely fatigued, rest in the stretch, all right? Don't come off the step, all right? Don't try cheat anything. Just let your heel fall into that stretch. And while you're sitting in that stretch, and I know it's painful, but you know, this is the shit we do to get bigger, right? So it's a pain tolerance thing. You can either hack it or you can't. Those that can, Those are the guys that get bigger, they get results. And it's that simple, guys. So if you find yourself in excruciating pain and you need to relax, relax in the stretch. All right, just sit in that stretch for a good 5, 10, 15 seconds, and then you should have a little bit more gas to push onto your toes. You might only get another 2 or 3 reps of good contraction on your toes, and then you might have to relax again in that stretch. It's going to take you anywhere between 15 to 20, in some cases 25 minutes to do a single set. It takes me about 15, but I've been doing it for years, so it's a little bit easier for me. I'm quite strong in that position. So that's my workout. It's one set, okay, of 100 reps, and every part of the movement has to have perfect form, okay? That's simple. That is all I do. If any of you perform this workout and you find that after you've done it, well, my calves still are, they're not there, they're not fatigued. I'll find it really hard to believe, guys, that if you perform this workout and your calves are not fatigued, then you've clearly not done it right, because every single person I have put through this workout has nearly been in tears, because it is just so intense. It is painful. But if you are one of those people that thinks you can still do a little bit more after, maybe add another set, or walk your ass over to a steep hill, or put the treadmill to the highest incline and just do some steady walking for about 15 to 30 minutes on a high incline, or walk up and down the hill, and that will just blow the calves off. But just be careful, because like I said, you can overdo it, you can overtrain them, you can damage them. So just be very careful you don't overdo it, guys. The next part is really easy. Just go and fucking rest. Go and take a week off. Take 10 days. Take 14 days off. And just focus on getting in your nutrients, your calories. And your calves will grow. It's that simple. It's the same with your neck. It's the same with your forearms, your chest, your back, your legs. It's the same formula. Just hit them 1 day a week. Perfect form. Get the stretch, get the contraction, the mind-muscle connection, just get everything on point, and there should be no reason as to why they aren't growing. And if they don't, then you start going down other avenues. You start adding little bits to it just to increase the intensity a bit more, to really get that muscle to burn out. And it's that simple, guys. That's my opinion on calves. Yeah, and that's all there is to it. Some of the best calf development I've ever seen in my life was on ballet dancers. I remember I went to a theatre performance years ago, right? And all these little skinny male ballet dancers came out onto the stage, and I remember just being in shock at how big their calves were. Their calves were enormous. I'm going to say they were easily between 17 and a half, 18 inches on each male performer. And these guys were all like 140, 150 pounds, wet through maybe. They weren't bodybuilders, they were lean, but they weren't bodybuilders. They weren't doing that kind of training. They were just on their toes each and every day. At the end of the performance, I managed to pull one of the ballet dancers aside, and I had to question him on how he built his calves. And I remember him telling me that in practice, in between doing their I don't know what the name is that they use for going up onto their toes all the time, so we'll just call it calf raises. But in between all the calf raise exercises, they stretch after everything. They place a lot of emphasis on stretching, and he believed that was the reason as to why a lot of the male ballet dancers, and the females, the women, have really well developed calves as well, but that was the reason why their calves were so big, was all the stretching that they did in between their calf raising sets. And also he would talk about the direction of the feet when performing the calf raises. So he would say they would do calf raises with the toes facing to the front, the toes facing to the side, all different angles. And one of the more advanced, or most advanced ones they would do, is they would stand in what you call a horse stance. So this is a wide stance with you know, the feet facing to the side, toes pointing out, and they would kind of sit in a deep squat, and then they would start to perform these calf raises whilst in this horse stance, deep squat. And it's kind of, without me demonstrating, it's kind of hard for me to explain as well, but you can kind of get where I'm coming from. Give it a try. It is horrendous. It hits the calves in a way you've never felt before. And I've always wondered why a lot of bodybuilders have never added it into their routines. Perhaps they think it looks stupid, and I mean, bodybuilders don't have the greatest flexibility, so they can't be sitting in a wide horse stance in the gym performing calf raises. One, because they probably think it looks stupid, and two, they just don't have the flexibility. But if you have the ability to do that exercise, give it a try, because it might just take your calves to the next level. So guys, that's my opinion on calves. I believe you should hit them once a week. Perfect form, good mind muscle connection. I hit one set for 100 reps, like I just explained, and I hit them every sort of 10 days, sometimes 14 days if they're still not fully recovered. Add some more body weight, you know, add 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds to your body weight. I know it sounds a little bit exaggerated, but people that carry a lot of upper body mass tend to have larger calves. And I mean, I know I'm talking about people that are overweight, that are more on the fat side, but it'll just help you in with that concept of aiming towards building in bigger calves. Is, you know, the lower leg has to support the upper body. So the more mass you have on the upper body, you know, the calves are going to have to adapt to that stress, and in doing so, they should get bigger and they should definitely get stronger. So there you have it, guys. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, leave a like. If you have any questions about anything I've discussed, drop them in the comment section below and I'll be sure to get back to you. If there's anything else you want me to cover, guys, drop me the question below. Other than that, have yourselves a nice weekend, and I'll see you next video. All the best, guys. See you soon.